This is Channel 2 News, coverage you can count on.
It was quieter than we would normally see.
But it's not over yet. There is still an hour and a half till the polls close and a few hours till we start getting those results in. Team coverage of Campaign 2014 tops Channel 2 News at 5:30. Good evening once again, everyone. I'm Kristen Remington.
I'm Wendy DeMonte. Thank you for staying with us tonight. We do begin with team coverage of Campaign 2014. Aaron Breen is live at the Registrar of Voters office after speaking with officials about how voting is going today. Paul Nelson and Ariana Bennett are live at the Republican and Democratic headquarters where watch parties are being held tonight.
All right, let's begin with you, Aaron. So how's it going so far? Earlier in the day, you told us, turnout's not that impressive.
You know what? So far, so good, Kristen. Everything's going smoothly, they say, at the polls, and with all of the early voting and getting in the absentee votes as well, getting them in here to the building, everything's gone smoothly. In fact, the only disappointment so far really has been low voter turnout.
Slow, steady stream of voters going to the polls, but just not enough to get it up to that 50%. So we're at least hoping for a few more to show up after work today.
And remember, you can still come after work because all of the polls will be open until 7 o'clock tonight, so it gives you lots of time to do it. And they say, you know, once the polls close, they'll start bringing the cartridges in down here to this area, and that's when things down here will be hopping.
First thing that'll appear are early voting results. After that, results will be released periodically depending on when the cartridges arrive here at Election Central. So the polling place results will be the next thing. Our absentee results are always the last thing that we upload into the system because they're the most labor intensive and actually take the longest to get tabulated.
So a lot of extra hands on deck down here for the county tonight, not only for security reasons, also for bookkeeping and lots of media. Always a lot of media down here, all waiting for the same thing. We're waiting for all the results to come in. Covering Campaign 2014, Aaron Breen, Channel 2 News.
All right, we know you'll keep us posted. Aaron, thanks as always. The Republicans had a stronger presence in early voting than the Democrats, outnumbering them by about 23,000. This was across the state.
Yeah, absolutely. That is why the GOP came into Election Day feeling pretty good about their candidates. Paul Nelson is at their viewing party over at the Peppermill. Paul, what are Republicans saying about today's races?
Well, Wendy, they really like their odds, especially when you start talking about some of their incumbents. And they say they've really started to pick up steam, their party has, in the last couple of months. Now, this watch party gets underway in about a half hour, but some people have already started trickling in. They're hoping for a big night, not just here in the Silver State either. Neither of our senators are up for re-election, of course. That's Harry Reid and Dean Heller. But Republicans are keeping an eye on the federal races in other states. Democrats hold the majority in the Senate 53-45, but the GOP thinks it has a very good shot at flipping the balance of power in Washington. 36 Senate seats are up for grabs.
I recognize this conversation about gridlock and stuff, but you're going to be pleasantly surprised when the Republicans take a majority, hopefully tonight.
And of course, we'll have to wait and see how everything unfolds. And of course, everyone here will also be waiting. They're expecting about 300 people to be here at this watch party. Covering Campaign 2014 live, Paul Nelson, Channel 2 News.
All right, Paul, thank you. Let's head over to Ariana Bennett now, live at Slice of the Peak in downtown Reno.
That's right. That's where the Democrats will be holding their watch party coming up later tonight. Ari.
Well, ladies, as you can see behind me, it's still the calm before the storm today. We're still waiting for the volunteers to finish up working and then trickle on in after the polls close. But I'm joined here with Janice Flanagan. She's the chair of the Washoe Dems. Janice, thank you for talking to us.
Well, we are just so pleased to have the media here. Thank you, Ariana.
All right. Now, it's been a long campaign season, as always. How are you feeling about it so far?
Well, we are going to have a lot of victories tonight. We have some great candidates. And I do want to emphasize that the polls are still open. There is still an hour and a half left.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Now, what are some of the biggest races, the ones, the nail biters that you're really watching tonight?
Well, of course, we're watching all of our state races because we have a lot of people at the top of the ticket. We also have a lot of wonderful local candidates, and as you know, the local candidates really affect our lives a great deal. So we are very interested in the City Council, the County Commission, our Treasurer, Controller. We just have some wonderful candidates, so we're looking forward to having a lot of victories and celebrating tonight.
Okay, now looking at the early voter turnouts, Republicans did have an edge going in to Election Day today. Is that a concern for you as we see returns coming back?
No, I think they often do in the early voting. They really, it's a different demographic. We trend younger, they trend older and whiter. They have more retired people, but we feel very good about it. We've been working the phones an awful lot, trying to get our voters out, and I think it'll be effective. So. We're pleased.
Okay, Janice, thank you so much. Of course, we will keep you updated as people start to trickle in. We start to see some results, but for now, covering Campaign 2014 live, Ariana Bennett, Channel 2 News.
All right, thank you for that. And Channel 2 News and CBS News will be staying on top of all the races, both locally and all across the country tonight. Now, after Channel 2 News at 5:30, Scott Pelley will have a national election update at 6, followed by the CBS Evening News, then Channel 2 News at 6:30. After the polls close at 7, CBS News will have an hour of election coverage, and we will have 2 local updates that hour, then an update each hour after that. Now, starting at 10 o'clock, CBS and Channel 2 News will have another hour of election coverage, capped off with a special edition of Channel 2 News at 11. We will also be updating election results at the bottom of your screen as they come in all